And welcome to Testimonial Tuesday. We are live at Waterford Lakes, Marlowe's Tavern in Waterford Lakes, where also today we're going to have lunch, great lunch adventures with the Chamber, East Orlando Chamber.
At 12:30.
12:30,
Sure.
thank you.
Yep.
Today we are here with Derek Vidito, co-owner and president of Certified Best Roofing. Welcome, Derek.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And we are sponsored, as always, by 317 Virtual Services, who is your personal admin team, from document formatting and spreadsheets to PowerPoint presentations and data entry. Our 317 Virtual Services virtual administrative assistants can take time-consuming tasks off of your plate. Think of us as your right-hand support team, ready to take on the to-dos that slow you down so that you stay focused on growing your business. And I believe that Certified Best is a client.
So after the hurricane last fall, we actually started using 317, and they were taking our calls. They were in our system, setting up appointments, entering all the notes of the customer's initial contact, and it was seamless. Our customers never knew that we used a service. And I highly recommend them for stuff like that, especially if you have a high call volume. You can always just turn it up and turn it down on how you need it. So they'll work with whatever you need. It's
Awesome.
Pretty amazing service.
And Certified, that's the reason we're here. And Derek, we're excited about learning more about them. So you are owner with your sister.
Yep. Carrie Moreau, she's the rock star of the two. So she's typically, I'm just known as Carrie's brother, but I take it. Because if you're going to be anybody's brother, Carrie's a good one to have.
So that is an interesting dynamic, like I shared with you earlier. I could never do that with my sister. But how did y'all get into it as a sibling doing? How did you start in the business?
Right. So this coming January is going to be our 5-year anniversary. So it would be, 4.5 years ago. I was a general manager of another company, and I just knew that I eventually wanted to do my own thing. So just expressing that with family and just the way that things lined up with her career, we kind of just came together, and she threw it out there. I was kind of surprised because I never knew that she was even interested in that. So when she mentioned it, it was like that instant thing where you're like, yes, like that makes total sense. And we never stopped. So it's just been from there to where we are now. And, it's equally, we share the responsibility, but a lot of what we've done in the community and how people know us is because of Carrie. So
she's out and about constantly.
For sure.
I see that. But I see your trucks everywhere as well. So what makes Certified Best Roofing different than the other roofing companies in Central Florida? I see your trucks everywhere.
Yeah. So in my opinion, of course, bias, but you hear a lot about these roofers that are chasing storms. They're looking for hail damage. They're looking for insurance claims. We do work with insurance claims, but a lot of what we do is just roofing. So someone needs a roof, we're going to tell them, the age of the roof and be able to help them through anything, even if you just need a certification. Repairs, commercial, residential. A lot of other roofers don't do commercial, they don't do repairs. So what sets us apart is that we are a roofer all around. It's more of like the old school mom and pop style, as opposed to just storm chasers, not knocking on doors, trying to get insurance claims.
Right.
We're just a business that focuses on roofing repairs, and being our slogan, your roofer for life, where you'll come back for every time you need a roof.
I love that, roofer for life. And you shared that you've seen some nightmare jobs, which is good for you, bad for homeowners.
Yeah, and also business owners too. So we've seen a little bit of everything. And of course, even, back before I started the company, you could walk in someone's house and open the front door and all you see is pink. The cotton candy on every surface because the roof had leaked so much that all the drywall collapsed. That's the kind of stuff we walk into, and hopefully by the time we leave, it's back to normal living conditions. So that's part of what we do too. Is the contractor side of what we do. It's not just the roofing. So if something happens to the whole house, like a tree falls on it, we can go from start to finish on the whole process. We don't have to hire a contractor.
Good.
I'm a contractor and a roofing contractor.
Well, you're doing something right because you've earned a 4.9 rating and local awards. So what does that customer recognition mean to you?
Everything. Because, people always joke about reviews, especially customers like, oh, reviews, you can just buy reviews. Like, no, like you have to earn each one of them. So even the ones that you look back and you try to find that one that made us a 4.9, like that review is just as important as all the 5 stars, So like to really focus on what goes right, what goes wrong, It's not just about celebrating. You know, sometimes things happen where it's out of our control. Like we had a customer that had a fraudulent person call us, set up an appointment. We go to the house and they saw me walking around the house and thought that I was scoping the place out and left us a bad review. It's like, and all it was someone just trying to do some type of scam and set up a fake appointment. So anyways, the fake,
they're out there.
Yeah, the bad reviews to me just as important as the good reviews. But each one of those, it's kind of like lighting the fire. You know, it's like that's what we work for.
Good.
Like that customer service.
Well, you're doing something right, like
Trying.
I said. We talked about it just a little while ago, but what are some common roofing issues that you see in Central Florida, and you know, especially as hurricane season approaches, and
Yeah.
the hurricane list just came out?
The biggest thing is age of roofs. So anytime there's a real estate transaction, of course, insurance, the homeowners, they all want to know age. And, you know, we can help them with roof certifications, figure that out and be able to tell them the life, how much life is left in the roof. Because, you know, one brand manufacturer at the 12-year mark might not be nearly as good as another. So we can realistically say this roof will last 2-3 years. But something common we see, of course, is leaks. So leaks happen. Sometimes it's a material fault. Sometimes it's an installer's fault. But that's primarily what we see is leaks. So people let them go. The little spot on your drywall becomes that big, huge spot.
Gotcha.
We can really just nip that, you know, take it out of the equation real early. If you call us, we can get it taken care of quick where it doesn't cause more damage. But primarily that's what we see is leaks.
Can't ignore that.
Yeah.
Can you walk us through what a typical inspection or roofing job looks like from start to finish?
Yeah, so inspections, you know, it starts with that initial contact, asking the right questions on, you know, what's going on, because sometimes someone won't be forthcoming to say, like, I want my roof inspected, but they won't mention that it's leaking. Mm-hmm. So that's really important to us if we're going to inspect it, if there's anything you've noticed so far. But the guys are trained to walk around the perimeter of the house, check all the soffit, check all the gutters, check if any tree limbs are rubbing against the house. That's going to destroy a roof. It just wears the shingles right off. It'll wear right through them and it'll go all the way to plywood, cause a leak. Wow. So just a tree limb itself. So things like that. Then we get on the roof. We're going to look at the age of the roof, look how brittle the shingles are. We're going to look for any damage.
So wait, you actually get on the roof instead of using a drone?
We'll do both. But
okay.
Yeah, we are roofers that get on the roof.
Good.
Not all of our people will get on roofs.
Okay.
Sales staff typically 50-50, but the production staff for sure. We're on every roof that we do. Every roof we work on, every roof we repair. The guys or myself is up there putting eyes on it, taking pictures, making sure we document it. So,
good.
But part of that inspection is, we're photo documenting everything. So you kind of get a home inspection report just for your roof.
Okay.
So we can show you everything that's going on. And then if it has an issue, we can suggest repairs, but there's no pressure on the repairs. It's just information.
Perfect. Now, obviously it's certified best roofing, but that's not all you do. So you do gutters, siding, windows, doors. Talk to me. Yeah.
So like I said, we are a contractor as well as a roofing contractor. So anything to do with exterior, changing elevations of homes, complete facelift, fascia, soffit, gutters, stucco, any type of siding, windows and doors, which is a big thing for us. A lot of homes, the windows and doors start going, and your energy efficiency just goes out the window. So it is
improved, right?
And a lot of times it costs more than the roof. It's so crazy what windows cost nowadays. But yeah, we do a lot of windows and doors, a lot of siding jobs, a lot of exterior work on top of roofing. But
let me ask you, we since hurricane season is approaching, what should homeowners be doing right now to prepare their roof for the upcoming hurricane season? So you mentioned, tree limbs that can.
Right. Yeah. And if you're not comfortable checking all that stuff, we do free inspections. We're never going to hassle you to try to sell you or put you on a list where we're going to harass you. Calling us for a free inspection just helps us build a relationship with you, let you know where you stand. And I recommend getting that done every year.
Okay.
Yeah. So especially after you hit that 3-year mark, if you're not having any issues on your home, a 3-year-old roof from there on until it's 15 years old, every roofer will offer free roof inspections. You should take them up on it. Like they're the people that can safely get on the roof, take a look at it, call us, we'll take pictures and everything, and be able to show you the age of the roof over time. And it's the perfect thing. It's like taking advantage of a situation. It's like, please call us. We'll be glad to check it out.
You know specifically what you're looking for, whereas my big self gets up there, I have no idea.
Right. And then God forbid someone slips.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. Yeah.
So, we talked about your customer experience and how you've got, great ratings and everything. Your team's praised for being professional, prompt, and clean. How do you train your team to deliver on that level of service and sustain it?
Well, really, the training never stops. So we're real big on team meetings, team huddles, constantly paying attention to customer feedback and putting that into our meeting notes immediately so things don't get overlooked, so that we're constantly learning, constantly improving. And then, of course, it's all about management. So, if I'm not holding the guys accountable to cleanliness or the quality and being out there, boots on the ground, things are going to get missed.
Okay.
So that's part of our management staff, is how important it is to be at every job, looking at every detail and making sure we're leaving it the way we found it or better.
Boots on the ground.
That's it.
So we talked about drone inspections real quick and attic checks, but can you explain how you're using technology to ensure through inspections?
Well, drone is just like I'm telling a homeowner not to get on the roof. There are some roofs that we simply can't get on without setting up a pretty sophisticated harness system.
Okay.
So if we're just going to do a quick inspection, we're not really going to do that. So the easiest thing to do is to fly the drone around the house and take all the 4K photos and get really good resolution. It's kind of amazing how good of photos you can get with a drone. Mm-hmm. We can get the drone a foot away from the house and get such a close-up picture of damage. I can tell you exactly what it is. So something we find a lot of is bullet holes in roofs from the top down, not from the bottom up. But we can actually see something as small as a .22 caliber bullet sticking in a shingle with our drone, like just to say this is a leak. So it's very, very detailed.
Didn't know that was a thing. Yeah. Is that like after 4th of July?
It's very common.
Okay.
Yeah, very common.
So again, not that I'm talking about hurricanes, but should something happen and part of the roof, get ripped or ripped off, or there is a big leak, you offer tarp services.
Yeah. Emergency service. The one thing that I like to clarify with emergency, we're not going out there in the storm when trees are falling and everything. But as soon as it's deemed safe to get on a roof, we can get out there and start covering up the roof and getting it tarped.
And then if there is in the area, how do you, I'm curious about this because, I'm from Southeast Florida and you would see tarps on there forever, right?
Yeah.
So what, are you able to prioritize? Is that like the level of damage, or how does that work?
So you're saying as far as when we're taking in calls? We will prioritize. So like if there's a tree sticking out of a house, there's nothing I can do until the tree's removed. So I will go to all the other houses that just need a simple tarp, sandbags, depending on the situation, how we're going to attach the tarp. Okay. We'll get those done while we're waiting for the tree guy to finish the other house, and then we can bounce over. But we have enough crews that it really doesn't matter how many calls we get. We can take care of everybody quicker.
Good. Yeah. Because your team is large enough to
we can
accommodate
even for commercial. We have enough guys separated between commercial and residential. It doesn't matter what happens. If it's tarpable, we can tarp it. But there's a lot of situations that you can't put a tarp, because if it's going to lay flat, water's going to find its way under. But if it's tarpable, we can get it taken care of.
Path of least resistance. Right?
That's it.
Okay. I'm going to pause and we're going to revisit 317 virtual services, the smart mail handling with a professional touch. So need a professional business address or reliable place for clients to drop off documents. Our 317 virtual services physical location gives you both. With a receptionist on site, your mail and packages are received and handled securely, giving your business a polished, established presence, even if you're working remotely. 317 services. So back to certified best. Let's talk about trust, warranties, and financing. So I know some
of my favorite words.
So let's do it. So tell us about the 20-year labor warranty you offer. What kind of peace of mind does that give your clients?
So when we started the company, the state of Florida had kind of put an end to this with insurance lobbyists calling this Tallahassee. But so now the state of Florida has made a law to where insurance can force your hand at 15 years. But before, shingles would normally last 20 years. So in my opinion, my labor should last just as long as the product. So that's why we say, as long as the shingle's going to be there, we're going to back our labor portion of it. So if the material fails, that's on the warranty of the shingle manufacturer. If something's wrong with the way it was installed, my name's on it. I'm going to take care of it for its whole life. So that's why we have that long-term warranty. And we'll honor it. Like I know I said 5-year anniversary coming up, but still, it doesn't matter what roof we put on. Even some of the roofs I did at my previous employer, I'm willing to warrant that work just because it's my name. So
Perfect.
then we talked about the other one was trust and warranties, and
Yes.
the last one was
Financing.
financing. So
Yeah,
we,
so
we
we
do offer
can get into that,
financing.
yeah.
We work with a few banks. We have great programs, same as cash programs, 0% programs, no prepayment penalties, all the good stuff you would want if you're going to use financing for a roof and get it paid off quick. And then also for the only thing that, unsecured loans, I'm sure a lot of people in the chamber know it's going to be higher interest rate. So, but we try to focus on ones that are going to help our customers get what they need done, because of course they can't get insurance unless they have a new roof. So we try to offer enough financing options to fit a little bit of everybody. But bad credit is bad credit.
Sure.
We can't really help too much, but we do have programs.
You're good. You're not a magician.
That's right.
Got it. What should a homeowner look for in a trustworthy roofing contractor, especially in a state like Florida where scams can happen, like you were talking about earlier? Those guys.
Yeah. So just vetting them, really, just doing your research. Referrals are awesome. Using
4.9 on Google, awards locally, things like that.
Yeah, things like that. But also when you get to interview the contractor, we have a whole book on how to interview a contractor, the questions to ask. If you were to email me, I can send you the PDF. There's a whole list that you can interview me using the same questions, or you can interview any contractor that you meet.
Okay.
But just basically, I think it's real huge to know the person you're working with, to ask all the difficult questions, to check on insurance, to ask for a certificate of insurance, to be, everything to make sure it's there. Right. So we have liability, we have umbrella, we have workman's comp, and everybody should. Even their auto policy. What is their auto policy? Because what if the guy drives this truck through something, or he takes out your vehicle? So knowing that they have everything legit and that everybody's covered under workman's comp, your property insurance isn't going to be at risk. They're going to do what they say they're going to do. That's the biggest thing. They're going to show up when they're supposed to show up. Communicate well, set all the right expectations. But yeah, I think that with picking a contractor, if it's not us, if it's another service, even a pool contractor, it's really getting to know them and asking the hard questions.
So you mentioned emailing you. Obviously, your website is certifiedbestroofing.com, but you are Derrick, Derrick, at Certified Best Roofing.
Right.
And your phone number for Certified Best Roofing?
Yep, it's 407-602-3363 is our main line.
And we have a question that came in online. So what is the craziest thing you found on a roof?
I had already mentioned it.
Besides bullet holes.
There's no besides bullet holes.
Okay.
That is the craziest thing we've ever found. And the crazy part about it is that it's a 2 or 3 time a year situation. Okay. It's not something where you just randomly find it once in your career. It's something that
it's ongoing.
Even when you talk to other roofers, that's something that we like, is that the fact that we find these things.
I didn't even know that was
the other thing that's crazy is just to see the handyman side of roof repairs. Just the way that someone will take a product that's intended for one thing and use it for another, and just to see the creativity, I should say, that people try to keep water out of something when really it's kind of a simple process. It goes all the way back to a piece of wood being layered up on other pieces of wood, just like slats that will keep water out. But people just have this science project on a roof. Those are the most fascinating ones too, where you look back and you just have to appreciate it.
They put an effort in. Didn't make it waterproof, but what about?
It probably worked for a little while, but that's the craziest things, is bullets and creativity.
What about critters?
Critters, yeah. So raccoons are a huge thing. I've actually seen it to where raccoon pulled back shingles and went through the decking, OSB decking of the roof, and set up shop above a bathroom in the house. Wow. So I was called for a leak and realized that there is a hole in the roof, the size of a basketball, and a family of raccoons inside.
Found a nice home.
Yeah, it made a home.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not going to do that on metal roofs, though, right? Which do you?
No, metal is not going to happen. But they'll find the way through the soffit.
You do those.
Yeah, we do a lot of metal roofs. Yeah, tile roofs, metal roofs, all different types.
We got another one. What's the proudest project or moment that Certified Best Roofing has had?
We were privileged enough to be able to give away a roof to a historic building there in Oviedo. It's the Historic Colored School. It's actually, the property is owned by a church. They had bought it to basically save the property. It's right there in Jamestown, close to Oviedo. We were able to donate that roof and do the work for free. that was very rewarding because, you know, the whole ceremony after where all the politicians were there talking about it and stuff, and we were called up front and they put me on the spot. I wasn't ready for it, but it's fine. But that was a proud moment, be able to do something like that to give back. And I wish we can do more of that. But of course, you know, you have to do what you can and pick your time. You know, that was our time to shine and we were able to do it. So
That's great.
It was a proud moment.
That's great. And speaking of in Oviedo, I know they just had their centennial, and you were a sponsor because, like I said, my kids came back with all kinds of goodies and the certified best roofing bags, and you were there and you're active in the community.
I make a lot of jokes about chip clips, but there's a lot of potato chip bags closed up with our stuff. But yeah, we try to do as much as we can in the community and sponsor events like Taste of Oviedo and the 100th year celebration there. It is a good opportunity to meet people, and it makes us consistent because we're right there in Oviedo, and that's kind of like our thing. You know, we want to make sure that people know where to find us and just stay present.
So you're on 419, but you will fix roofs not just in Seminole and Orange.
Yeah.
What is how far will you go?
So this year we've done Mayo, Florida, which is up near the Bend. We've done Jacksonville. We've done Palm Coast. We've done Tampa, St. Pete, Lakeland. There's a pretty big circle of houses we'll work on, but we try to do a 60-mile circle. So all of Central Florida out to Davenport, out to the coast. We try to do that, but when jobs call, you know, if it's not a little tiny house that we're going to travel so many hours for, we'll take care of it.
Sure.
Yeah.
And we're not just residential.
That's right. Yeah.
So if it's, you know, you do commercial, but you know, some of those are bigger properties, obviously. So bigger.
Yeah. So plazas, we've done some med plazas, a couple medical plazas that are, you know, have medical suites and then they rent out to other tenants in Daytona and Mount Dora. The product that we mostly use on commercial is TPO. It's a single ply membrane roofing. You'll see if you ever fly in a plane, all the roofs are white. That's what the material is. So we do a lot of TPO roofs, a lot of TPO repairs as well. Just like I said, most roofs now are becoming TPO. But yeah, commercial is something where we shine because a lot of now buildings have metal and other roofing products, and it's something that we can just step into and do what we do.
Okay, perfect. So you will travel.
We will travel.
Anywhere. Okay. How's it feel being named the neighborhood favorite 2 years in a row now on Nextdoor?
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, it's good to know that people will vote for you, and just knowing the first time it came around, like we didn't have a lot of friends on Nextdoor. We didn't know that people were really on it, but to be suggested and to be on that list is it is rewarding. Anytime you get recognized by your peers and by your community, you know, that's something where you feel like, okay, like we're going the right path, but we're not done.
Right. Yeah. And for being 5 years, I mean, I know you've got a lot more experience than that. You've made a name for yourself.
That's right, yeah.
Good. What's one roofing myth you wish people would stop believing?
A roofing myth?
Yes, I don't.
The roofing myth that everybody thinks that, you know, when it's time to get a new roof, it's time to do an insurance claim, and that insurance is just going to buy you a roof. Like, insurance not really there to make sure you get a new roof every 15 years. Mm-hmm. A lot of times it does work out to where something happens, but just thinking of it as the way it's kind of a myth because you're going to get denied a claim. If there's no damage, you're going to get denied. And then if you're just looking for damage, they know you're just looking for damage. Right. So digging in that path, you could waste a lot of time, hire an attorney, sit on it for 2 years, or you can just be honest with like, hey, my roof needs to be replaced. It's my responsibility as a homeowner. Mm-hmm. And just knowing that insurance is not your bank. Right. It's there for if something happens to the house. So that myth.
Good. Like, okay, thank you. Now, we talked about, you know, how folks can find you. We've given the number. If you can give it again.
Yes, it's 407-602-3363.
Okay, and then certifiedbestroofing.com. And I liked that, you know, when you pull up staff, you are officially the one who knows everything about everything. And you're proving that today. Come on.
I don't know.
What's the...
It's just it's their way of bullying me at work just to say I'm a know-it-all. Okay. It's fine. It's fine.
So that's the number, but is there an emergency number in case?
So that is the emergency number. So we will answer that call, and if you leave a message on it after hours, someone will get that as a text immediately. Okay. So someone is on that nonstop.
Okay.
And during storm season, we'll answer it at any hour.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Any final tips you'd like to give homeowners listening who are worried about roof damage this this storm season, or preventative, a little PM?
Yeah,
Talk
it's
to us.
just going to back up to that roof inspection. So if you're buying a property, we can do a certification. If you're trying to get a new insurance policy, let us do a certification. We do charge for roof certifications, but it's not very expensive. It's going to save you a ton on insurance. But the primary thing is just inspections.
Right.
So it doesn't matter if it's just leaks in your gutters, something like that. It could cause some issues. So, having a roofer go out there and take a look at everything is the perfect time now before it starts getting crazy. It's already getting to the pattern where it's going to start raining every day. And once it starts, it's going to be rain every day until fall. So it's coming.
As you said, free inspections. Why wouldn't you have it done prior to
That's right.
hurricane
Just
season?
give us a call.
Okay. Lastly, why should someone make Certified Best Roofing their roofer for life?
Primarily because we all have a tailor, someone that, not all of us, but some of us. Yeah, you got a guy for each thing. It's nice to know that we're the type of company that you can consider us your guy or girl to take care of it and be there, and that's what we do. We're not just trying to sell you a roof and move on to the next one, sell the roof, move on. That we genuinely want to focus on the fact that if you need a repair, it's going to be repaired. If it needs to be replaced, we're going to tell you it needs to be replaced. It's not just about selling roofs, it's about doing roof work. And that's more than just replacing the roof and charging insurance, the maximum we can charge them. So your roofer life, just saying that something happens, we touched it, you call us. Another roofer touched it, you call us. Like, we're there. Like, we'll do whatever needs to be done to that roof. You can count on us to get it taken care of.
Perfect. So obviously, any questions you can follow up with Derek or Carrie. But please join us today for great lunch adventures at 12:30 here at Marlowe's Tavern, Waterford Lakes. We were here last week. Unbelievable food here at Marlowe's. 12:30. Let's network, socialize, and are you coming back for that? Are you going to be?
I'll have to. Yeah.
Okay. Well, now that I teed it up, I'm sorry. So
yes, I am.
I'll buy you lunch for that.
Just
so reach out to Derek Vitito here with Certified Best Roofing. Do you have anything else you want to add?
I think that's it.
Okay. Yeah. Great job. Yeah. Thank you for sharing so much, and keep up the good work. We've got some upcoming events with the Chamber here. Next Level Real Estate and Trades Network, which you would fall into, correct? That's presented by the Chamber, is dedicated to bringing industry professionals together with valuable referral sources and resources. This event fosters business growth and community development through dynamic networking opportunities, all in a fun after-hours atmosphere. So join us for Next Level Real Estate and Trades Networking at Lee Vista on Wednesday 7th. Come connect, collaborate, and elevate your business with industry leaders in real estate and trades at Rock and Brews, Lee Vista, from 5 to 7. And again, that's May 7th. Bring a friend to get an extra ticket to go in our drawing with an opportunity to showcase your business. So they're not going to win a free roof, but they'll win a free inspection.
How about that?
Okay. Yeah. Join us for WISE, which is Women in Successful Endeavors, presented by Advent Health on Wednesday, May 14th from 11:30 to 1:15 at the Hilton Garden Inn, Orlando. This empowering quarterly networking brunch brings together women supporting women through connection, conversation, and confidence building. Our May program, Strong Minds, Strong Women, Navigating Mental Health with Confidence, features a dynamic panel of mental health leaders and advocates moderated by Dr. Priscilla Hill. Together, we'll explore real strategies for managing mental health, overcoming challenges, and lifting one another up, personally and professionally. Come be inspired, make your meaningful connections, and walk away with tools to elevate your potential. Thank you to our host again, Marlowe's Tavern. Thank you to 317 Virtual Services. Thank you to, help me out here,
Certified Best Roof?
You're right. And I am Eric Jorgensen with Egbert Jones Financial Services. Thank you for joining us.